Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I will analyze the shoving incident involving the President of France. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the incident, then offer my analysis. Emmanuel Macron was born on December 21, 1977, in France. His father was a professor and his mother was a physician. Emmanuel attended a Catholic high school. In 1993, when he was 15 years old, Emmanuel appeared in a play, which was directed by a 39-year-old teacher named Brigitte. She was married and had 3 children. The couple started a romantic relationship. It's worth noting that the age of consent in France is 15 years old. Emmanuel's parents initially believed that he was dating his teacher's daughter, but then, in the summer of 1994, they caught their son and Brigitte sunbathing near a swimming pool. In order to break up the relationship between their son and Brigitte, his parents sent Emmanuel to Paris to finish his final year of high school. Before he left, Emmanuel told Brigitte, "Whatever you do, I will marry you." When Emmanuel graduated, the romantic relationship with Brigitte resumed. Brigitte divorced her husband in 2006. She married Emmanuel on October 20, 2007. Brigitte was 54 years old, and Emmanuel was 29. Emmanuel became a stepfather to his wife's 3 adult children. At the wedding reception, he told her children, "Thanks for accepting us, not quite normal couple." Emmanuel started his career prior to being married. In 2004, he became the Inspector of Finances for the French government. This is a prestigious position which functions as a policy advisor and an economic watchdog. In 2008, Emmanuel started working as an investment banker. In 2012, he shifted into the world of politics. Emmanuel became the Deputy Secretary General, which is a senior role on the President's staff. In 2014, he was appointed as the Minister of Economics, Industry, and Digital Affairs. He resigned from this position in 2016 to establish his own political movement. His platform was centrist, pro-business, and designed for French citizens who were displeased with both the left and the right. Emmanuel ran for president as an outsider. Few people believed he had any chance of winning. In 2017, 39-year-old Emmanuel Macron was elected president of France, the youngest French head of state since Napoleon. Now moving to the timeline of the incident. On Sunday, May 25, 2025, Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte visited Hanoi, Vietnam, as part of a Southeast Asia tour. As the door of the French presidential aircraft opened, Emmanuel could be seen standing inside. His head was turned to his right, toward the front of the plane. All of a sudden, his wife Brigitte shoved him in the face with both her hands. Emmanuel took a step back, as if he was taken off guard, then noticed that the door was open and a crowd of people were standing there at the bottom of the stairway. He waved to the crowd before walking back to the front of the plane. When he and his wife finally exited the aircraft, Emmanuel extended his arm toward her as if she was supposed to grab it, but she refused. They did not touch each other as they walked down the stairs. It was a tense and awkward moment. The video of the incident led to strong reactions around the world, with many people suggesting that Emmanuel was the victim of domestic violence. Initially, the French presidential palace falsely claimed that the video of the shoving incident was fake. Later, they reversed course and admitted the video was genuine, but continued to downplay the seriousness. One French official said, quote, "It was a moment when the president and his wife were relaxing one last time before the start of the trip by having a laugh. It was a moment of closeness," unquote. Emmanuel also tried to downplay the incident. He said, quote, "My wife and I were squabbling. We were rather joking, and I was taken by surprise. We are bickering and joking, and a video becomes a sort of geoplanetary catastrophe. In the world we live in, we don't have a lot of time to lose. This is all a bit of nonsense," unquote. He pointed out that other videos of him have been misinterpreted. He said, quote, "There are people who have watched videos and think that I shared a bag of cocaine, that I had a one-on-one with the Turkish president, and that right now I'm having a fight with my wife. None of that is true, yet those 3 videos are real. So everyone needs to calm down and focus on the real news, unquote. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. There is a bizarre conspiracy theory involving Brigitte Macron, which falsely claims that she was born a male and later transitioned. The story started becoming popular in 2021, especially within the anti-government community. The French presidential palace and legal representatives of Brigitte denied the claim. In December 2021, Brigitte took legal action against 2 women who promoted the false story. Eventually, she was awarded $15,000 in damages. This has not stopped some people from believing the story. The conspiracy theory remains popular among the far right. The alleged act of violence perpetrated by Brigitte on the airplane in Vietnam is probably not going to facilitate the dissipation of this false belief. Item number 2. Both Emmanuel and Brigitte seem pretty comfortable with the relationship despite the 24 years which separate them. When talking about their early romance, Emmanuel said, quote, "We spoke about everything, and I discovered we had always known one another," unquote. Brigitte expressed a sentiment about that period based on her feelings, saying, quote, "My head was a mess. I told myself that he would fall in love with someone his own age. It didn't happen," unquote. Emmanuel implied that his wife was important for his career, referring to her as an anchor who kept him focused on his job. During an interview, he said, quote, "For me, it's very important for my personal balance to have somebody at home telling you the truth every day," unquote. Item number 3. The massive age difference between Emmanuel and his wife has attracted a lot of criticism. Research indicates that people tend to look negatively on romantic relationships that involve an age gap of over 10 years. This tendency has been remarkably consistent over many years and across many cultures. The disapproval occurs due to social norms, suspicions about motives, differences in life stages, and concerns about power and balance. The 24-year age gap between Emmanuel and Brigitte is not the only concern that people have about their romance. For many people, it's more about the ages involved when the relationship began. At 15, Emmanuel was simply too young. In many countries, although not in France, a woman engaging in this type of relationship would have been committing a crime. Another problem is how Brigitte was Emmanuel's teacher. This creates a power differential and raises serious concerns about consent. Many jurisdictions have laws indicating that a teacher cannot have a relationship with a student. At the time when this couple connected, France did not have such a law, although now they do. So if this happened these days, Brigitte would have been in trouble. Item number 4. Many people believe that the incident on the airplane in Vietnam represented domestic violence. They are skeptical about the denials offered by the French presidential palace and Emmanuel. The encounter did not appear to be a moment of closeness, rather a moment of domination, intimidation, and aggression. This brings me to the question, was Brigitte guilty of assaulting Emmanuel on the airplane? Let's take a look at the evidence both for and against the idea that she was guilty, starting with the inculpatory factors. A video camera captured Brigitte shoving Emmanuel in the face with both her hands. The shove appeared to be forceful. Emmanuel took a step backward. The expression on his face did not indicate that this was a lighthearted or entertaining moment. He appeared to be surprised, and later admitted as much. Right after the incident, when the couple stepped outside onto the stairway, Brigitte refused to take Emmanuel's hand. They did not touch each other as they descended the stairs. The facial expression that Brigitte maintained was inconsistent with being playful or amused. Rather, she seemed to be stern and unaffectionate. Moving to the exculpatory factors, Emmanuel indicated that no attack took place. This was all just a big misunderstanding. That's pretty much it for the exculpatory factors. When considering all the evidence in this case, do I believe that Brigitte was guilty of assaulting Emmanuel? Yes, I believe she was guilty in reality, but I am not convinced beyond a reasonable doubt. The alleged victim, Emmanuel, indicated there was no attack. Therefore, proving guilt would be difficult. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. During the airplane incident, Brigitte shoved Emmanuel in an aggressive manner. It was not playful. They were not having fun. It was an attack. I don't know if their flight experienced turbulence, but the relationship did. If the roles had been reversed and Emmanuel was the aggressor, there would have been outrage. Brigitte escaped responsibility due to gender norms and based on Emmanuel's denial. He probably wanted to put this entire situation behind him. Many people who become involved in large age gap relationships tend to experience denial. They refuse to recognize some of the clear negative characteristics inherent to that type of relationship. For example, the likelihood that the lovers will have different interests due to the age difference, and the higher probability of the older partner dying many years before the younger partner. This tendency to experience denial can be pervasive. If a person is in denial about the relationship, it stands to reason they will have denial about other issues as well. For instance, domestic violence. Emmanuel will not admit that he was mistreated by his wife. It's just another convenient layer of denial in a complicated and kind of disturbing love story. If anyone suggests Brigitte was violent, Emmanuel may be tempted to offer them a punch in the face, or as he may prefer to put it, offer a moment of closeness. As far as Brigitte, she has done little to boost her popularity. From cradle-robbing to president face-shoving, Brigitte really knows how to rack up positive public opinion. Reinforcing her boundary-violating reputation, Brigitte has gone from dating her student to shoving her husband, proving that she definitely has a knack for keeping things hands-on. Those are my thoughts about the shoving incident involving the President of France. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.